this is Kimberly from Lakeside Loops, and this video tutorial is for the Peyton texture block crochet cardigan. As with all of my video tutorials, this is just meant as an aid to go along with the full written pattern that you can find on my blog. So if you go to lakesideloops.com/Peyton, you can find the finished sizes, all of the materials that are required, yardage, stitch counts, and step-by-step instructions for all the sizes, which are adult extra small all the way up to adult 5XL. This video tutorial is just meant to complement the full pattern that's on the blog. So I used Lion Brand's True Boo yarn. It is so soft, it has a bit of a sheen to it, and really great drape. It was a lot of fun to work with. I also used a 5mm crochet hook and just some sharp scissors to cut off the ends of my yarn. Let's dive in. So this pattern is broken down into 5 sections. There's a back panel, 2 front panels, sleeves, pockets, and then seaming it all together. The top half of the sweater has a different gauge than the bottom half. The top half has more of a mesh design. It's meant to be more airy and light, and then the bottom half is more solid. When you do the top half, the cardigans work from the top down, so when you do the top half, it's going to seem like your top section is too short when you move on to the more solid part. And that's because this solid section, once you start crocheting it on and adding it to this part, is going to cause this to stretch and drag. So this is going to seem too short, but as you add on to your cardigan, that's going to pull this and make it longer. So don't panic if it seems like it's not hitting you in the right spot when you do this top section, because when everything's done, it will fall where we need it to go. Now, the pockets are optional. I write in the written pattern what to do if you don't want them, but I think they're a really sweet detail, and I love how they're almost, you really almost can't even tell that it's there, but it's a really great cozy little addition to the sweater, I think. Alright, so for row 1, hopefully you have the written pattern in front of you. Again, it's on my website, lakesideloops.com/Peyton, P-E-Y-T-O-N. The beginning chain will differ depending on which size you're making, from extra small to 5XL. I'm just doing a small little tiny chain so that I can quickly show you how these rows work up. Again, your chain length would be different depending on which size you're making. So you have your beginning chain, and then you're going to single crochet in the second chain from your hook. So not this guy, but this one, a single crochet. Now you're going to chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in the next chain. So chain 1, skip 1 chain, and single crochet in the next chain. And you're going to do that all the way down. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. So your last stitch in row 1 should be a single crochet into the last chain. Now for row 2, sorry, my dog just sneezed if you heard that on the camera. I'm not sure if it picked up or not. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. So we're working down the other direction now. And we're going to single crochet into the first stitch. Just like that. Now we're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space. So what I mean by that is this gap, this hole right here, the space that was made by skipping a chain and doing a chain 1 when we did our row 1. So you're going to go into that hole, into that space, grab your yarn and pull it through, and complete your single crochet. So now we chain 1, we skip 1, which was our single crochet from our last row, and then we single crochet into the next chain 1 space, so this hole over here. And this row, it's a little bit hard to see the holes created by the chain 1 space, but as you continue on, it'll be easier in the following rows to see where your single crochets are going to go. So you just chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the chain 1 space all the way down your row. So I'm at the end of my second row and I've just finished a single crochet into the chain one space, and there's one stitch left, and we're going to single crochet into that last stitch. Each row starts with a single crochet and ends with a single crochet. So for row 3, we're going to chain 1, we're going to turn, we're going to single crochet into the first stitch, and then the repeat for this row is chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space. So chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space. So you can see it's a little bit easier to see here your single crochets and your chain from the previous row. So we're going to chain 1, skip 1, the single crochet, and single crochet into the chain 1 space. So that's row 3, and then the following rows are just going to be repeating row 2 and row 3 until you get to row 71, and then that row is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so just to explain row 71 to you, because it may seem a little bit strange, I'm holding my cardigan upside down. This is the top half, this is the bottom half, here's my pocket. So row 71 is where we're switching to the solid, which is just rows of single crochets. But row 71, we're going to be skipping some stitches because the number of stitches in our solid section is fewer than the number of stitches in our meshy, airy section that's on top. The reason for that is this stretches, which, as you can see, and you can see it right there, when I stretch this, it shortens. It's not as wide. So because this stretches and becomes not as wide when we work up the bottom half, this bottom half adds weight to this, and so it stretches it and shortens it, or decreases the width, and so we need this solid half to also be not as wide. If we did the same number of stitches as up here, which, trust me, I tried, this ends up sort of coming out sideways, which we don't want. We want this to all be a straight line going down. So row 71, you're going to just be doing some decreases by skipping stitches, and from there on you're going to just be doing rows of single crochet. And your row for your pocket, I will show you in a minute because it's a little bit different too. Alright, so I've just deconstructed the pocket of my finished cardigan a bit so I can give you an idea of what row 76 is like. Row 76 is where we're going to chain 22 and skip 22 stitches to create this slit in our solid piece, and this is where our pocket is going to go. So if you don't want a pocket, you just skip row 76. Alright, so I've deconstructed the cardigan a little bit more again to show you how the pockets are made. So in the pockets section of the written pattern, row A1 is where I'm going to be showing you. So you're going to be working into row 76. So that's the row where you don't have this yet. That's the row where your hole is. So you're going to be working down here, and you're going to count over the same number of stitches that you did before you created your chain of 22, and that's where you're going to attach your yarn. And basically what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be working into those 22 stitches that you skipped. So you're just going to attach your yarn and you're going to single crochet across 22 stitches, and then you're going to chain 1 and turn and single crochet again, chain 1, turn, single crochet. So 22 stitches for each of these rows all the way up, and you're just making this one side of your pocket. And that is the A section, like the row A1, A2, A3 of your pockets. And then when I talk about the B, row B1, that's where we're going to be crocheting into this side. So for the second part of your pocket, where it talks about row B1, you're going to be working into this same spot where you attached the yarn to make this. You're going to attach yarn again, but instead of working into anything over here, you're going to go up and you're going to work into your chain of 22 that you did in row 76. So you're going to attach your yarn, and then you're going to do 22 single crochets into that chain. And then you're going to chain 1 and turn and do 22 single crochets again and again until you have a second rectangle. So you've got one rectangle attached to this side and one rectangle attached to this side. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take both of these rectangles and you're going to put them together like this, and that's where you're going to single crochet them all around these 3 sides to join. I'll show you a little more clearly. Alright, so my cardigan's sideways. This is the top half over here, the bottom half, and the top to this pocket, the entrance is up here. And I've just slip stitched all around these 3 sides to join my 2 rectangles together so that my pocket doesn't have a big hole at the end. It's a complete pouch. So you just slip stitch all along here, the bottom and the other side, leaving of course the top open like that. Alright, so just a little tip. As you can see, my sweater's inside out. This is my side seam. This is my pocket. I found that when I had my hands in my pockets, sometimes when I pulled, they would sort of show out the side of the sweater, or the front of the sweater. So what I did was I just took a little bit of yarn and I just very loosely attached them right in here close to the inside seam, so that when my hand's in my pocket, oh wait, let's see if I can do it on camera. When my hand's in the pocket, it doesn't go like this, which is what it was doing before. It just sort of stays in the sweater. Just a little tip if you find yours is doing that too. Alright, so I've extended the camera out as much as possible. Hopefully you can hear me and I don't sound too much like I'm shouting. But I wanted you to see how I seamed this together. So you're going to lay your back piece down flat with the good side facing up. Then you're going to lay one of your front panels on top of it with the good side facing down. So you can see here my pocket is inside out. This is the bad side, or the inside of my sweater. Right now it's inside out. You're going to start up here at this corner and you're going to slip stitch the top of one of your front panels to the top of your back panel. So you're going to start over here and you're going to work toward the middle, slip stitching it together. It tells you in the written pattern exactly how many slip stitches. When you get to the middle, you're going to cut your yarn, grab your other front panel and lay that on top, again facing down, and it's going to overlap 1 stitch. So you're going to start your slip stitch in the last slip stitch that you made with this join. So you start here and you work your way to the other side. Then you're going to go to the bottom of your cardigan and you're going to slip stitch the sides together. So you're going to start at the bottom and you're going to work your way up, all the way up, and then you're going to leave a hole here. And this hole is for you to attach your sleeve. So you're going to take your sleeve and making sure it's inside out. You're going to slip stitch in a circle. So you start down here and you slip stitch all the way around until you get back down to the underside again. And you're going to do the same thing with your other sleeve. And then you just turn your sweater inside out and it's ready to wear. I hope that that helps. And that is it for this video tutorial. I hope that I answered any questions that you may have had about the written pattern. We've gone over all of the trickier bits, but if you're still unsure about anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. I can't wait to see your cardigans. I think out of all the pieces that I've ever created, this one is the most wearable garment, and I'm so excited to wear mine in all seasons. Take care, guys.